Hey guys, Somalia here, and today I'm bringing you a team building video for the Black and White 2 new metagame, or used to be specific. And in this series I'll be hoping to bring you guys different kind of teams throughout these series. And today's theme is going to be Weatherless stall, since I really found it to be effective in the current metagame, as surprising as it is. Now I know stall is kind of boring, but hey, if we get rid of it quickly, I'm sure that will make a lot of you guys happy. So I'll try to make this as enjoyable as possible. And the way this series is gonna work, it'll be in groups of 2. So this is the first video, which will actually show me build a team and go into depth in regards to all the threats to it and whatnot. And then the next video will show me utilizing the team to its full potential on the ladder and explaining how to use it. So these series just mainly to raise awareness of team building in Black and White 2, as well as how to effectively utilize your team. So there's battling strategies and whatnot. So it's basically incorporating 2 lessons in one, if you guys want to say. And I'm really looking forward to receiving some feedback from you guys. So feedback at the end of the video in the comment section will be appreciated. And now let's get down to the actual session. Okay guys, so a few things to note, especially for the new players about stall. There's several points you guys have to know. So the first thing is entry hazards. Entry hazards are a staple on stall teams, stealth rock spikes and toxic spikes, and without them stall teams really won't function, since they are the primary way in which they rack up damage against opposing teams. So you obviously need a Pokemon to set them up, and pro tip, it's usually better to have 2 Pokemon set up your entry hazards as opposed to 1, because if you give all your entry hazards to one user, it will really pressurize it, so chances are it won't even set all of them up. So it's better to spread them out across 2 Pokemon. Next thing is spin blocker, as when you set up all your precious hazards, it's obviously not good if the opponent just brings in the spinner and spins them off after all your hard work. So a spin block is really appreciated. Ghost types, since they are immune to rapid spin, which is a normal type move, unless the opponent has the force type. But that's a whole different story. So spin blockers are another component. Third is flip the tables over. Now say the opponent sets up entry hazards on you. You obviously wouldn't like to keep switching in and out and losing a ton of damage from the entry hazard, so spinner is really advised. Fortress, Tentacruel, and Donphan, etc. So rapid spinners are really useful, especially if they have good synergy with your spin blocker. For example, Jellicent and Fortress, since Jellicent can take fire type moves, and yeah, so which Fortress definitely can't. In addition to that, offensive teams that usually have Deoxys D, who's a quick entry hazard stacker, since he can stack spikes and stealth rocks in a matter of few turns thanks to his great bulk and good speed. So against an offensive team with so much pressure, you definitely would want to get the hazards off as early as possible. Obviously there are a lot more components for a really good stall team, but those are just the most basic and the staples of stall. There are also the need for a wish passer, for example, if several of your tanks do not possess a reliable recovery move, and also the need for possibly one Pokemon who is bulky, however it has the notion to actually make a potential sweep. So it's bulky, can tank hits, however with the hazards down it can actually have a chance to sweep, such as Carmine Latias and Carmine Jirachi and so on and so forth. So I'm definitely sure you guys just want me to get on making a damn team, and I'm really sorry for taking this long, but then again it wouldn't be fair on the new players, so I just had to explain some of the basics. So with that said, let's get down to the team. Okay guys, so we can actually now start the actual team building process. I have Pokemon Online Team Builder opened, which will allow me to go through a quick yet informative process of how my team building goes along step by step. So before actually starting on my first Pokemon, I would like to open this list right here. Don't know why it ain't dragging. Okay, now it's here, and it basically possesses several Pokemon, well actually a variety of Pokemon and threats that I should really be aware of whilst building my team. So if I manage to counter and check almost all of these threats, the team will be that much more successful. So let's skim through this real quickly. Tornadus Therian form. It's no wonder why he's the #1 on this list, simply because it got Regenerator and it can run a mixed set, meaning it's an effective wall breaker. Bad news for stall. Thundarus Therian form, choice sets are not so bad, but nasty plot sets, because Blissey cannot Thunderwave it due to his ability Volt Absorb, it can really wreak havoc and easily sweep Breloom. It got Technician. We have to also be watching out for this Pokemon. By rain offense, I mean Gyarados, I don't know how to spell that shit, Keldeo, and Polydode, and etc. So Tyranitar's right here. Now Tyranitar is not so threatening right now. Okay, so I don't know why that came, but Tyranitar is not so threatening. But the problem with him is that he would usually run 3 moves which are quite predictable. However, his last move could either be Fire Blast, Ice Beam, even Thunderbolt sometimes. So this bad boy is really sneaky, so we really have to be watching out for him. Landorus Therian form is probably the inferior one out of the 3, and despite that, we definitely should not be underestimating this beast. Mamoswine literally means anti-meta game, simply because his Ice Stab attacks combined with Earthquake and Superpower make him so good against the new offensive potent threats such as Tornadus Teeth, Thunderous Teeth, Breloom, even stall teams like Blissey, Jirachi, Ferrothorn, they all get destroyed by Mamoswine. Rainstall is basically Tentacruel, Ferrothorn, Politoed, and all those good stuff. Sunny Day. By Sunny Day, I specifically mean Venusaur and Volcarona under the sun. They're quite potent threats. Jirachi split it up CM, which stands for Combine, and the standard Iron Head Jirachi. Dragons, I haven't been seeing too many dragons. Why on earth is this keep coming? Okay, so I haven't been seeing too many dragons right here. I played about 40 games. In about only 5 or 6 have I seen a dragon not called Latias. So they're starting to get extinct. Hail teams. Abomasnow, Kyurem, what more do I have to say? The row second to last is basically physical sweepers such as Terrakion, Virizion, Scizor, Luke, and a lot more. Fire types, if your team cannot deal with fire types, you really have some issues. So those are Pokemon whom we really have to watch out for and make sure we counter almost all of them, if not all. So let's go and start. The first slot, well actually the first 2 slots are going to be for my entry hazard users, while my third is going to be for my spin blocker, and my last 3 are just going to be Pokemon to patch up the weaknesses and all the good stuff. So the first 2, I'm going to go with the Fortress, simply because he is one of the best entry hazard users, not to mention he's also a spinner. This is another pro tip. Try to maximize what your Pokemon can benefit your team. For example, Fortress can spin and set up entry hazards, which saves us having to find a spinner and a separate entry hazard user, if you know what I mean. Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Rapid Spin, and Volt Switch. I really like Volt Switch because it gives me momentum, as well as really gives a blow to Gyarados, whom I do not like at all, to be frank. Okay, so let's give him 248 EVs, 200 defense, and the rest in special defense. Now, that's him done. Let's just make him male, because I don't know, yeah, he didn't even look different, but whatever. So that's Fortress done. My spinner and Toxic Spikes user. What else does Fortress do? It can basically tank hits from weaklings like Gliscor and set up in their face, unless they possess Taunt, and it just spins away crap from Skarmory and all that good stuff. So, and when dragon types are locked into Outrage and at low health, he can probably come in and just Volt Switch and finish them off. So that's Ferrothorn, our second user. Now you guys are probably thinking something that has good synergy with Fortress. It does not necessarily have to be that, simply because there can be other Pokemon on the team to patch up their weakness, and I'm actually going to be using Jirachi. Now, I haven't actually stated this before, I should have, but this team I've been using in Pokemon Showdown. I think a few people have been watching me, and it's basically 32-0 at the moment, so it's really good. However, Pokemon Showdown does not have too many good players at the moment on the ladder, so it's not really worth saying. But I guess I should have just said that just so that you guys know I tested this extensively. I'm going to give this 36 speed EVs to be able to outspeed max speed Tyranitar, and I'm gonna give it 248. Okay, and that's enough. Okay, so I'm gonna make the special defensive physically, and it also will set up my rocks. Now it's Wish, rocks. Might seem a little too much, but Jirachi can handle it. So, and not to mention other team members will make life easier for Jirachi. Wish, Stealth Rock, Iron Head, and the last move can be filler, but I'll just give Body Slam. I like getting paralysis on anything. You know, them kind of awkward times when you're just like, I can't be bothered trying to predict what's going to come in. I'm just going to Body Slam and paralyze something. So, it's all good. And I'm going to make it male. Whoa. Forget I said that. Let's just go to the next Pokemon, which I said to be my Spin Blocker. Or did I say Spinner? Let's just do Spin Blocker first. So, Spin Blockers are ghost types. Now, let's see what we have. Gengar, Sableye, and Jellicent. Dusclops and Smagias, but those we really don't want to be seeing. Jellicent really sticks out because it has recovery. Now, Sableye also does, but Jellicent is also part water type, so that gives it fire type resistance, which is really appreciated by these two steel types. So, Jellicent it is. And let's just do the moveset first. This is just going to be an ordinary Jellicent, nothing special. Now, you guys might be asking why I'm giving it Will-O-Wisp and Scald, simply because Scald also could burn. But there's times where you do not want to rely on the 30% of Scald. When Will-O-Wisp, if it hits, it guarantees the burn. So, versus, for example, Dragons, where if you miss, it's basically game. I'd rather go for the Will-O-Wisp. Bold. Okay. 208. The rest in special defense. Water Absorb, of course, really good. And this is basically Jellicent, so it really helps Fortress and Jirachi. Now, Jellicent is Spin Blocker as well as a fire resistant, and Pokemon such as Mianshao, fighting types, it really helps because it's immune to fighting type moves, and Pokemon with high jump kick really will not decide to go for it because they don't want to risk losing 50%. Pokemon like Terrakion and Scizor are also dealt with by Jellicent, especially Swords Dance Scizor, so that's really good. So next we want to, we have our Spinner, we have our Entry Hazard User, and we have our Spin Blocker, which leaves us to 3 more slots for Pokemon just to kind of patch up the team and fix up our weaknesses. Now let's go to this little thing. Let's see, we got Tornadus dealt with. Okay, now Tornadus has Heat Wave, but you must ask yourself, what kind of teams is this Pokemon used on? And that's rain teams, because Hurricane has 100% accuracy. So Heat Wave, even if it possesses it, it will be piss weak due to the rain, and Jirachi can easily take a lot of them. So we countered that. Thundurus, not so much. Breloom, nope. Rain offense, yes. Rain offense to a certain extent, yes. Tyranitar, well, some variants without Fire Blast, yes, and I would just give it a small one. It's check. The big ones can be counter. Okay, Landorus, nope. Mamoswine, somewhat, because it cannot hit KO. Jellicent, but I really won't say it yet. Rainstall, yes. Sunny Day, nope. Jirachi, yes. The Iron Head variants, the physically, because Jellicent can just burn it, and it cannot do much back to Jirachi. So Dragons, yes. Latias, I think I should start being more specific. Latias, Salamence, Dragonite, check, counter, Salamence, Mixed Mints, nope. DD Dragonite. We'll just go for DD Dragonite right now. Hail teams. Well, Jirachi deals with Kyurem pretty well. Jellicent also is not so bad against Hail, apart from the Abomasnow. So I'll also give this right here. Terrakion, Virizion, Scizor, of course. Damn right, Scizor is dealt with. Fire types. Yeah. So you're starting to see some progress. So right here, I'm going to want to be adding another special tank, because that's just how dangerous Tornadus and Thundurus are, as well as Volcarona and Venusaur. So I'll be using a Blissey. Now people say, oh, you're whoring that thing, but when you want to win, you gotta use anything. So, not to mention, Blissey is good, but then again, come on. I mean, Thundurus can set up on its face. Due to Thunder Wave not being reliable, and Toxic is gonna take several turns to be doing big damage. Okay, so right here it could be bold, but I want this to be a tad bit better versus what is it called? Versus, oh my god, versus the special sweepers. Okay, so I'm gonna give it Aromatherapy. I like healing my team. Seismic Toss, Soft Boiled. I could give it Thunder Wave, but then again, there's not much to hit with Thunder Wave, and I do not like giving Thundurus HP back. Not to mention, I cannot give it Toxic because Fortress has Toxic Spikes. Yes, it would help against levitating Pokemon such as Gyarados, but I already have them dealt with an Iron Fist, so that's all good. I'm just gonna give it Ice Beam to deal with the Thundurus, the Gliscor, and all of them. So that's Blissey done. It also helps us as a secondary backup against all these. So we really dealt with. Okay, so yeah, CM Rachi. Well, Super Rachi is dealt with easily, but CM Rachi, because Blissey cannot break its sub with one Seismic Toss, I don't think so. Okay, so our next Pokemon is going to be Landorus Therian form, and because this PO version is the old one, it does not have alternative form. So this is Landorus Therian form, okay? It's not the normal one. So right here, I'm going to give it Earthquake, Bulk Up, Rock Polish, and this is the Pokemon I'm talking about on my team that is basically taking advantage of entry hazards and could actually get a sweep, because it has decent bulk and its attack is humongous. So yeah, Earthquake, Bulk Up, Stone Edge. I didn't even say Stone Edge. Okay, Rock Polish, and it got Intimidate. But like I said, pretend this is Landorus Therian form, and what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to give it 252 attack EVs, make it Adamant, and I'm going to make it speed. Now I know it's slower than this Landorus, I think, I'm not sure, but I remember I made it speed 255, so I'm not sure how many EVs, but the EVs for Landorus Therian will be in the link below in the description, in the paste bin. So, and I just gave the remaining to the HP. So it's not exactly these EVs, because Landorus has different base stats to Landorus Therian form, but the moves are the same and everything, and it had Intimidate. So this Pokemon helps against Jirachi. It can set up on Jirachi. It helps dodge Earthquake, and it's generally just a Pokemon that can help sweep given opportunity. So, and it has good synergy with the rest of the team. Now, last but not least is going to be Amoonguss. This really helps patch up the team. Spore, Clear Smog, Hidden Power Ice, and what was the last move? I keep forgetting the last move. Spore, Clear Smog, Giga Drain. Okay, so Regenerator, because it's released right now, and we're gonna make 405. So Seismic Toss cannot 4-shot it, and Well, this really doesn't matter because we're not using sub, but that's just a good number. We're gonna make it calm, and we want to maximize his special attack. I mean special defense. Sorry, and dump the rest into defense. Give it leftover. We could give it the black sludge, but if a Pokemon tricks you and gets your black sludge, it could trick it on possibly another of your team members, and then you're really screwed. So yeah, let's leave it female. Right here, we only have special attacks. So let us make HP Ice space 70. And one last thing I want to really show you guys, a lot of players don't do this, but for example, say a Jirachi goes for the water pulse after it has several calm minds, you bring in Amoonguss, you get confused, and you could hit yourself in confusion. And to minimize the damage you do, you would want to put down this attack IVs because you're not using any physically attacking moves, so it doesn't harm. And we'll put it down to 2 because we want the hidden power base to be 70. We're also going to be doing this on Blissey. We do not have hidden power. We can just put this to 0. And yeah, we do not care because if it's Dragon, because we're not using hidden power. The same could be used on these Pokemon, and it's just generally good practice if you want to avoid hurting yourself that much. So this is the team. It looks pretty solid and it works. Definitely it works. I've versed a lot of good players with it outside the ladder just to test, and I won every battle. So it's pretty good. The way it works is, well, I cannot really explain it without showing it in action, and I will be doing that in the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is just a normal stall team, Weatherless stall, and it's been really successful. The only issue I will say I have is with Sunny Day, and I will discuss that issue in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you want to see the next episode. It really encourages me. And peace, people.